Welcome to Spring Branch ISD, where we believe in the core values, collaborative spirit, collective greatness, limitless curiosity, and moral compass of every student. When it comes to school and your child's education, nothing is more important than making sure they come to school every day, on time, and ready to learn. But transitioning to a new school, whether it's in a different part of the city or even a completely different country, comes with its own unique set of rules and regulations surrounding the school day. In the following video, I'll break down the things that you need to know regarding the typical school day here in Spring Branch ISD. Here in Spring Branch, the average school day generally lasts from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. However, it is important to check with the school your child will be attending for the exact start and stop times of the school day, since some schools' start and stop times may differ slightly from others. One of the most important things about the school day is arriving on time, not only in the morning, but being on time to each and every class. If a student is late to class, they're considered tardy. A student is considered tardy if they're not in class when the bell rings. Tardiness is a disruption to the classroom instruction and the educational process. If a student is no more than 15 minutes late to class, but has an acceptable excuse, then it is considered an excused tardy. If a student is no more than 15 minutes late to class and doesn't have an acceptable excuse, it is considered an unexcused tardy. If a student is more than 15 minutes late to class, but has an acceptable excuse, then it is considered an excused absence. If a student is more than 15 minutes late to class and doesn't have an acceptable excuse, it is considered an unexcused absence. Remember, unexcused absences count against a student's ability to get credit for a class and may impact their grade point average, as well as their ability to move on to the next grade level. There are no excused tardies to first period for students who drive to school instead of riding the school bus. Therefore, it is important that all students arrive to class on time and ready to learn. Once in class, if a student wishes to leave, they must obtain a hall pass from the teacher. When it is necessary for the student to leave a classroom, it is the student's responsibility to obtain permission and a hall pass from the teacher. Each student leaving a classroom must have an individual pass signed by the teacher. Students in the halls, restrooms, or anywhere else on campus without a pass filled out in ink and signed by the proper teacher will be subject to disciplinary action. Students are prohibited from being in possession of blank passes, using blank passes, or altering passes in any way. If a student is needed in the office, then an office request form will be sent to those students requested to report to the office. Failure to report to the office as directed will result in disciplinary action. If a student is skipping school or is absent from school or class without prior knowledge and approval of the parents or school officials, the student is considered truant. Each absence due to truancy will result in a grade of 0 for any activity, test, or assignment missed if all members of the class are assigned grades for the same work. Further disciplinary action may be taken if deemed necessary by the principal. In addition, no alternative learning activities or makeup work will be given for truancy. If a student is abnormally absent from school within a certain time frame, school personnel will refer student absences to the Spring Branch ISD Police Department for investigation. As mentioned in a previous video, school attendance in the state of Texas is mandatory. The failure of a student to attend school regularly can result in legal action against both the student and the parent. Such action may include, but is not limited to, the following: fines, community service, forfeiture of a student's driver's license, inability for a student to apply for a new first-time driver's license, attendance in a program for parents to help identify the problems that contribute to the student truancy. If a student needs to leave school early, the student should obtain an early dismissal permit from the appropriate attendance office prior to the first class by presenting a written statement signed by a parent stating the reason for an early dismissal. The early dismissal permit is to be presented to the teacher at the beginning of the period during which the student will leave. The student must then sign out in the office when leaving and sign back in if he or she returns before the school day ends. A doctor's verification is required for all medical appointments. If you wish to pick up your child and take them out of school early on any given day, then the parents are required to notify the office when taking a student out of school. No student will be released from school except to a parent, guardian, or designee as indicated on the student information form. The child will be brought to the office when the parent, guardian, or designee actually arrives. When taking a child out of school, you or your designee are required to come to the office. You will be expected to sign the child out and specify the reason for an early dismissal. Be prepared to show proper identification. If your child becomes sick or isn't feeling well during the school day, they may be dismissed from the clinic. The student who receives an early dismissal from the clinic must report to the office or the attendance office to sign out before leaving campus. Here in Spring Branch, we have a closed campus policy. This means once a student arrives on campus for the school day, he or she will not be permitted to leave the campus without the permission of the administration. Students leaving school for any reason, early dismissal, illness, or off-campus requests, other than a school-sponsored activity without checking out through the appropriate attendance office, may be subject to disciplinary action. The closed campus policy of Spring Branch also means students must remain on campus for lunch. Students under 18 years of age are subject to a citation for violation of daytime curfew laws. There is one last thing I would like to mention regarding the school day that I want you to know, which is that all school campuses are non-smoking campuses. Students are never allowed to smoke or drink at any time while on school property. Making sure your child attends school every day and on time may seem like a simple task, but as we all know sometimes, the smallest things in life can be our biggest challenges. Here at Spring Branch, we are committed to your child's education and success, both now and in the future. It is our mission to make sure that when your child leaves Spring Branch, they are well on their way to completing a technical certification, military service, or 2-year or 4-year college degree. But it's important to remember that educators can't do it alone. The success of our students depends on all of us being active participants in the educational experience. Ask questions, seek answers, and be our partner in your child's success.